Welcome back, everybody. This is another episode of Titans Tube, our Week 4 preview matchup between the Titans and the Houston Texans, second divisional game for both teams. And for this preview, we have another special guest for you guys, our most loyal and consistent Titans Tube guest. Welcome back to the show, everybody, Mr. Riley Curry. Take a seat, Riley.
Round of applause. Thank you.
Thanks for being a Texans fan that we know so that you can come on these shows and preview the game with us.
Yeah, I feel very honored that I'm
Welcome.
the only Texans fan that you all know.
Yes.
And I don't want to really care to know anymore, so.
So a little background, because last time you were on, I don't think we had as many subscribers as we do now. So tell us about yourself, Riley. Are you from Houston?
I'm from Houston, yes. I'm from Houston. I lived there 18 years of my life, and then moved away, and now I'm here.
Have you been a Texans fan all your life?
I was an Oilers fan for a number of years.
Right? Like,
Yes.
And then you guys stole them from us.
Oh.
Well, Memphis, I guess, did. They played in Memphis
Yeah,
first.
blame it on Memphis, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you guys tried to be the Tennessee Oilers, which everyone kind of laughed at.
I wasn't
And then now I'm a Texans fan since 2002, since David Carr in the,
And then he
in
died.
the 1,000 sack season. That
Yes, yeah, he got destroyed. Sorry.
Why didn't you follow the Oilers to Tennessee? Why didn't your fandom follow the Oilers to Tennessee?
They betrayed us.
Because now
Betrayal.
you're in Tennessee, so like I would be open to you becoming a Titans fan now.
We would
Slash
accept you.
Oilers fan, yeah, we would.
No, I know you
We
would
would
accept
let
me.
you
You guys are
betray your
desperate for
team.
fans. I'm not interested. Thank you.
Well, fine. Okay, that's enough of him. That's enough out of the Texans guy. Let's get into the breakdown. What
All right.
say you?
All
This
right.
is a big game. AFC
is a big
South
game.
rivalry. We Titans do not fare well in Houston. We lost last year's matchup. We've lost a few matchups.
We got
in Houston.
revenge in the Week 17 matchup, but you guys have already taken the division title by then because we blew it against the Jaguars. Speaking of blowing it against the Jaguars, the Houston Texans started off this season losing to Jacksonville 29-7. Riley, how do you let that happen?
Giving up 10 sacks.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Yeah, we were still trying to figure out our quarterback situation. We'll blame it on the flood too.
It's all right, though, because you guys bounced back the next week against the Cincinnati Bengals in an extremely exciting game, winning 13-9. If you remember that on Thursday Night Football. Deshaun Watson, semi-coming out party, had that one long touchdown run.
Yeah, the game was pretty ugly. Without that long touchdown run, I think we would have been in trouble. But I'm much more. I want to focus more on that. Even though we lost the game yesterday,
Yeah,
against
that
the
was
Pats,
definitely.
I was impressed. I was impressed.
I think that might have been the game of the year so far. An exciting back and forth game. Patriots winning at the last second. But hey, yeah, Houston looking like a legit team in that game.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson played great. Our defense played really good. But when we had a 4th and 1, late in the 4th, I knew we had to go. Once we kicked that field goal, I knew Brady was getting the ball back. 2 minutes to go. I knew we were in trouble. Yeah.
Can't give Brady any extra time.
No, we should have gone for
Yeah.
it. We should have gone.
Rookie mistake, Deshaun.
I don't think it was his call.
Well,
yeah, impressive showing though still against the
Yes,
Patriots
very
and
impressive.
what you guys did.
But regardless, a loss is a loss. So Texans are we're playing the Texans, and they are 1-2, currently last in the AFC South, while the Titans are coming in currently tied for first, but we hold the tiebreaker in the AFC South. This is big news because it's
this
been
a joke to you?
while.
What's the difference? Why are you last place to last place? This is one game.
It is one game.
It's a
yeah.
one-game
okay.
difference, but it
So
counts.
you're
Let
tied
us
for
have
first
this.
or tied for last. There's 4 teams in the division.
But I'm
okay?
saying
Let us have this.
it's about to be a 2-game lead over the Houston Texans after Sunday, and we're going to tell you why in our breakdown right here. Let's get to it. How about starting with the quarterbacks?
Let's do it.
Okay, so all offseason after you guys drafted Deshaun Watson out of Clemson, who won the championship last year in NCAA football, Bill O'Brien says that Tom Savage is going to be the starter and should be the starter for pretty much the whole season, yet he bails on him within the first half of the first game.
Didn't last long.
What happened there? Did you have faith in Tom Savage going in, or did you want Deshaun Watson to be the starter from day one?
Well, I mean, Tom Savage is the veteran. I think if we can, we want to give our rookie some time. But I think the way our defense is playing and has played, our windows, like we have a pretty big window to win now if we have a good quarterback. So I think making that switch just to see if Deshaun Watson is the guy, I think it was the right thing to do. And it looks like it's going to pay off. He looks pretty good so far.
Yeah, it actually does, because he's put up some good numbers in his first 2 starts. Last week against the Patriots, he did have 2 interceptions, but he did throw for 2 TDs and over 301 300 yards passing.
Yeah.
And I know he didn't have a good first start against Cincinnati, but on that, 49-yard run, touchdown scamper, honestly, he brought back visions of Vince Young, his rookie year, when he ran actually against Houston in overtime to win that one.
Remember
that long run against the Texans. You don't remember VY?
He just erased it from his memory.
But yeah, he does. He looks like a pretty good quarterback. Your thoughts?
Yeah, especially after this New England game, I'm starting to get a little worried that the Texans have found their answer and they found that main missing piece to kind of put them over the edge in a Super Bowl contender. So I'm a little worried. I'm not excited about facing Deshaun Watson for the next 10 years.
The good thing is that the Titans have Marcus Mariota, his Lord and Savior, the GOAT himself, who is
Deshaun Watson's Lord and Savior?
No, Marcus Mariota. Yes, Deshaun Watson, Lord and Savior. Marcus Mariota. Deshaun worships Marcus. But I think Marcus is coming off his best game of the year. I think everyone would agree against the Seahawks. He played incredible. 2 touchdowns, passing, no interceptions, no turnovers. Period.
That's huge.
And I think we had a big statement win. I would give the quarterback advantage to the Titans. Obviously, I think Marcus is better than Deshaun. I think Deshaun's better than I thought he would be going in. I was hoping to face Tom Savage at least this first matchup between the teams, but Bill O'Brien is a liar.
Why would he lie to his quarterback like that?
That was savage of him to do to Tom.
Yeah.
Justin, do you agree with me?
I agree.
Advantage Titans in this one?
I would definitely take Mariota in this advantage. I mean, he's got a better track record, obviously. Deshaun Watson's played 3 games. Mariota having a good start to the season. I would say Mariota.
Riley, do you agree? Who would you give the advantage to?
I would say Mariota. Advantage Mariota in this one. I would say Deshaun Watson. They remind me of one another. I think in the way that obviously they can both run, can both throw. The way that they seem to want to work really hard, and they seem to both be really well coached and accept coaching really well. So I think Deshaun is a couple years behind Marcus, but I could see them both being pretty good for a long time.
Do you think Deshaun Watson is still feeling that sack from Geno Atkins on Thursday night?
Yeah.
Because he pretty much got knocked back into the offseason with that one.
Yeah, he did. He got pushed.
I mean,
He did. That was before he broke off.
Welcome to the NFL. That was. He got
before
redemption.
he broke off that long run.
Seriously.
That was a hilarious looking sack.
It was.
Okay, let's move on to the running back game. Now, tell us about the Texans' run game, because apparently we know nothing. Lamar Miller, Dante Foreman, who is that?
So Dante Foreman's a rookie out of Texas.
And you're
Texas Longhorns.
a Texas fan.
That's right.
All about the Texas and
Yeah.
Texans here.
Yeah. So
And
I'm
the Astros.
and the Astros.
Man, just Houston. Why would you move?
AL West champs already.
You're basically Justin reincarnated for the city of Houston, because Justin is a homer in every fandom possible. Fandy,
I respect
UT,
that.
Titans,
Yeah. Right?
Predators.
We got a lot in
I
common.
respect that.
Yeah. Appreciate
I
that.
don't like you, but I respect that.
Oh.
Yeah, so rookie out of Texas. I mean, he's good, hard runner, big, strong kid. Lamar Miller. I mean, he's people kind of know his game. He's a good runner. It's just going to depend on the offensive line. And last week or yesterday against the Patriots, we looked really good. So we'll see how it goes.
Surprisingly, you would think that we would think the Titans would have the advantage in this one, but if you look at stats, Lamar Miller is actually only 2 yards behind DeMarco Murray. Now, I know Derrick Henry got a lot of the carries against the Jags, so Murray hasn't gotten quite the workload he got last year in the first few games. But between leading running backs, their stats are pretty even.
And what I'm seeing here, Deshaun Watson has recorded 124 rushing yards already, so he's a threat as well to run out of the backfield.
Anyways, let's go to advantages. Riley, who would you give the advantage to in the run game?
In the run game, I think it's a push, really. So, as a homer, I'm going to call it Texans.
That's big.
Rough.
That's surprising. I know you don't watch a lot of Titans games, but I would say through the first 2 games, our run game was slow. Definitely got off to a slow start. I know Derrick Henry kind of broke free against the Jags with DeMarco Murray being sidelined with a hamstring injury. But DeMarco Murray came back against the Seahawks, and we rushed for 195 yards total as a team against that Legion of Boom. And that front 7.
We brought the boom in
have
this
you.
one.
So just based on our last performance and our personnel, I think I'm going to give the edge to the Titans.
And I'm also going to give the edge to the Titans. So that's kind of a 2 against 1 kind of a
Is that surprising?
deal.
Yeah. Okay.
Big shock. I picked the Texans. You guys picked the Titans.
So we're going with
You saw that.
we're going with majority vote here. So Titans get the edge in the run game. Moving right along to the receiving core. Now this is where it could get tricky. because Texans have one of the best receivers in the whole NFL. Deshaun Watson walking into a great situation by getting to throw to him pretty much every pass. DeAndre Hopkins. That's who I'm talking about.
Yeah. How's DeAndre Hopkins been performing so far through 3 games? How's that chemistry working out now with Deshaun Watson?
It's good. It's good. They've been playing really well together. Just the nature of how it works. DeAndre Hopkins is being doubled all the time, so he's not open. He's still being targeted though. He's still being thrown to a lot. And our stud tight end CJ Fedorowicz is on injured reserve, so we don't have him. We've got another tight end named Ryan Griffin who's good. Braxton Miller, ex-quarterback from Ohio State. All these guys are really good. So I really like the Texans wide receiving core.
Also, though, Will Fuller, a prominent guy in the receiving game for you guys last year, has broken his collarbone, still not expected back.
Right. I'm not sure when he's coming back, but it won't be another few weeks.
And I know he had a lot of drops as a rookie last year, but still, I remember him returning that punt against us at Houston last year, which was pretty much the difference in the game. But DeAndre Hopkins is a very prominent weapon in that passing game. But looking at the stats again, our leading receiver going into this game, Rashard Matthews, is just right there with DeAndre Hopkins in terms of stat production. So maybe the gap isn't as wide as we originally thought.
Also, if you take into account our tight ends, Delaney Walker, he's going to be Delaney Walker. He's looking just as good as he was for us last year. And Jonnu Smith getting touchdowns in back-to-back games, our rookie tight end. Don't know if you know about him, but look him up because you're going to know about him on Sunday. Hopefully.
I need to look him up then if I'm going to know about him. I don't need to look him up.
I think we definitely have the tight end edge, seeing as how your tight ends are struggling with some injuries. And their names are not Delaney Walker. That kind of hurts the tight end game for you guys.
And I really think Marcus, especially after last game, is starting to get it going. Build some chemistry. We saw he was a little off in his chemistry with Eric Decker in the first few games. Looked like last game he kind of got that, they finally got it worked out because Decker, played the biggest role he's played thus far in a game for us. So it's looking tight. What do you say, Justin?
I say, I don't think we have a receiver that's as good as DeAndre Hopkins, but if you take into all of our depth at receiver and what we have going for us at tight end versus what Houston's got going for him so far, I would give the edge to the Titans. Again, 3 for 3 so far on giving the edge to the Titans, but what am I? I'm just a Titans fan.
You know what? This may come as a surprise, but I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to agree with you, Justin.
I can't believe it.
I will say this. I think DeAndre Hopkins may be the best player on the field. At least top 5 of this game or of any game he plays. I think he's an incredible receiving talent that you guys have at Houston. But I think, like you said, overall, looking at the whole receiving core, I think the Titans have more weapons. Riley, do you agree?
I disagree. I'm going with the Texans here. I think that, and something that's just kind of indirect here, I think the way that our defensive line pressured Tom Brady, who never gets pressured, I think that's going to make y'all's passing game a little more difficult to come by. So I think our defensive line is going to hurt y'all's wide receiver production. And I love DeAndre Hopkins, and I like our other guys too. I like Braxton Miller too. I think he's an underrated guy. So I'm going, shockingly.
Was his one catch for 15 yards against the Patriots underrated or overrated?
I'd say it's properly rated.
Okay. So you think your receiving core is better because your defense is better?
And our receiving core is better.
Okay. Well, once again, majority vote wins.
Boom!
Titans get the edge in the receiving
Right,
core.
I'm bringing a buddy next time.
Defense is its own separate category, so we can make our arguments there.
All right, so majority rules, defense, Texans. Good. Next segment.
Wait a minute. We got to break down the defense.
We got to at least mention some of your top players, even though everyone watching this already knows J.J. Watt is back.
How has J.J. Watt looked ever since he's come back from that surgery on his spine? His back?
Right? I don't think it was his spine.
I think it's his back.
It's just his back.
But yeah.
His lumbar.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's looked really good. He's looked like J.J. Watt. At the end of the game on Sunday against the Pats, he was gassed. He was just gassed at the end. But he's put a lot of pressure on the quarterbacks. He demands double teams every time, so that opens up stuff for Merciless, for Jadeveon Clowney, on all those guys. And even though we're missing, Brian Cushing's going to be out for a few games. I really like her. Our defense is one of the best in the league. It was the best in the league last year without a future Hall of Famer J.J. Watt, and we kind of got all those guys back.
Let's not jump the gun. But Hall of Fame.
I think he's 3-time defensive player of the year already. So yeah.
Have you seen the drop off in the secondary losing AJ Bouye? from this year to last year. You still have Jonathan Joseph back there, but
yeah,
he's
Jonathan
gonna fill
Joseph,
in for
Kareem Jackson
AJ.
has been looking really good, and we lost our other guy, Kevin Johnson from out of Wake Forest. We lost him, but Kareem
Because of injury or
yeah, injury, and I don't know how long he'll be out, but I think he's still gonna be out this weekend. But Kareem Jackson's been looking really good. So
lost a couple pieces in the secondary, but you add back J.J. Watt. Yeah, I think that defense should be just as good. No shame in giving up, well, those 5 touchdowns to Tom Brady, but still, he's Tom Brady. But yeah, that defense is still something to take into account as one of the best in the league. As they compare to the Titans defense, what would you say? Would you give the Texans the edge here on defense? Are we going to betray?
You know what? I don't think it's a betrayal. I think it's fact. Just like the first 3 categories were fact that the Titans are better. I think the Texans have a better defense. I think they've had a better defense for years now. I think the Titans, it's obviously been a weak point, especially our secondary. Mm-hmm. I think we're starting to fix that. We're starting to turn the corner. We're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But Russell Wilson gashed us for 4 touchdowns and a career high in passing yards. I know that was, he was playing from behind, trying to come back, and we were kind of playing some prevent defense. Kind of like how you were comparing Deshaun Watson to Marcus Mariota, how Deshaun has a lot of similar skill sets, and you can see him becoming like a Marcus Mariota, but he's a few years down the road. I see our defenses there as well. We have good guys up front like Jarrell Casey and good pass rushers like Arakpo and Morgan, and our secondary is blossoming, but we're still a few years away, maybe even more than a few years if you're looking at the Texans, one of the best defenses in the NFL for the past 5 years. So I'm going to give the edge to Houston on that one. You're welcome.
Yeah. What about you? Would you give us the edge in defense?
Yes.
No, I wouldn't. After watching Marshawn Lynch just destroy Jarrell Casey, I wouldn't really bring up Jarrell Casey as a real huge positive.
He got hurt from that too.
Did you have to go there?
Just to add injury to insult.
Oh goodness. All right. Yeah, I will give the advantage to the Texans in that category.
So those are our breakdowns of key positional battles and matchups and personnel. Let's get into keys to the game. Justin,
and score predictions.
And score predictions. Actually, Riley, let's start with you since you're our special guest this week. What do you think will be the key? I guess first of all, who do you think is going to win, and then what do you think is going to be the key to that game for that team to win? I don't want to say that you're picking Houston because you might think the Titans are going to win.
Who do I think is going to win?
Yeah,
Come on.
Titans, yeah.
Titans.
Texans.
I mean, we just broke it
Texans.
down for you how
Do you
we're
want
a
me to
much
pick
better
score?
team.
All right.
So you think?
All right. 24-17. So for the Texans, it's going to be no turnovers, and it's going to be no big plays on defense.
That's legit. That's kind of what the Seahawks let us do against them.
Yeah.
That was a huge difference in the game. We ripped off 3 big touchdown plays against them. I think our defense has got to game plan and shut down DeAndre Hopkins because it seems like he always has a good game against us. He's always a threat, and we know how our secondary can struggle in the passing game, so I think that's got to be our key. If we shut down DeAndre Hopkins, I feel confident in our run defense to shut down the run, and hopefully we can force Deshaun Watson into making some mistakes, getting some turnovers. I know he threw 2 interceptions against the Patriots last week. If we can get some turnovers, but really key in on DeAndre Hopkins, limit his game, I think we come out on top in this game.
So what's your score prediction?
I'm going to predict a 20-14 Titans win.
Close one on the road.
Yes. Yes.
Anybody want to
Go
know my
Titans.
keys or predictions?
not really interested.
No, yeah. Tell us your keys. Tell us your keys.
Yeah, I think we should let Deshaun Watson throw to DeAndre Hopkins the whole game. Okay. Let DeAndre Hopkins tear us up. I mean, we saw Doug Baldwin have one of the best games of his career last year, and Russell Wilson, and we still won the game. But I think the key is going to be containing, almost like what you said last week against the Seahawks, is containing Deshaun Watson, making sure he doesn't beat us on the ground. Keeping him in the pocket, making him beat us with his arm. Because I think if he gets running, if he gets a few first downs, maybe a big play on the ground, that can really get them momentum, get the passing game going even more. And I mean, anytime you have a quarterback who's a threat to run and pass, it just puts the defense on the edge. I mean, I think the Texans are going to deal with that in Marcus Mariota, but I think Deshaun Watson's a little bit more of a rushing threat than Mariota is at this point. So I think we really have to contain him and not let him gash us for runs. And I don't think he's going to beat us passing. So even if he throws to DeAndre Hopkins all day and DeAndre Hopkins gets 200 yards receiving, I don't think that can beat us. So,
All right.
You wouldn't make a very good defensive coordinator.
I think Titans are going to win.
Good.
And I think we're going to take it pretty big in this one. Sorry, but we've just come off
Don't
two
apologize.
great offensive performances, putting up over 30 points. I think we're going to do it again. I think we're going to get 35-20.
Man, how does that feel? How does that feel? 35 points against your defense, Riley. Well, the
I mean,
Patriots
it
put
didn't
up
happen,
36.
so it feels fine.
Well, it hasn't happened yet, but we're about to see it happen virtually on Madden. Going on to our Madden Challenge segment of the preview episode, we actually played Riley twice last year. I don't remember the outcomes. I'm pretty sure we won one. Did you beat us once?
1-1.
1-1? So this is kind of a good matchup then.
Do you have the new Madden? Have
on
you been
paper,
working on
No,
your
I
game?
don't have any sort of game console. So the fact that I won one last year is a disgrace to me.
So you're already making excuses, one. But just to
Lovely.
tell you our history so far, we're actually 2-1 on the year in Madden,
We did lose
and the
once.
Titans are 2-1 on the year.
Is it? Do the games match up?
The games don't match up because we actually lost to the Seahawks in Madden, which was our only loss.
And
but
we beat the
we
Raiders in Madden, but lost
Yeah.
to them in real life.
But it doesn't matter because the records are exactly the same. So the Madden gods are still
It works
real
itself
and
out.
alive.
Long term.
Yeah.
Yes. So how about we get right to that? If you're down,
I'm down.
challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted.
Take your controllers, gentlemen.
AL West.
Yeah, sorry, I get riled up, start
Lot of
swearing.
pressure.
Get riled up.
Get right.
A little technical hickey. Okay, let's go
Um,
back. Expect. You can sit up a little
Did
more
you
than
say
that.
technical hickey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, and if you look at, where am I going? Yeah, and if you all, maybe Rashard Matthews is DeAndre Hopkins. Oh, God, I'm cutting that out.